That's why we're here.
Man, you got the resounding. All right. Well then, in that case, I don't have to tell you how you feel when you don't have a good night's sleep.
Yes.
Sleep is such a basic, integral part of our existence, and yet we overlook the fact that it controls so many things, okay? And there is a balance that we have to achieve with our sleeping patterns and our behavior, because just like everything else in life, it can be a double-edged sword, okay? Everybody knows through, TV commercials and through popular society that oversleeping is a major symptom of depression, right? Yes, no, everybody's heard that, right? Okay. But at the same time, undersleeping is a major contributor to depression.
Yep.
Okay, so you got both sides of the scale going right there. Additionally, lack of sleep can contribute to anxiety symptoms, can contribute to extreme irritability, as everybody knows. And in addition to that, it drastically affects how our body heals itself. And not only from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint as well. Okay, we deal with a lot of chronic pain individuals, people with traumatic head injuries, in addition to just your basic, I call it basic, but your normal sight concerns. And the one constant throughout all of this that we address immediately is, what is your sleep pattern? Okay, how much sleep are you getting a night? Are you waking up frequently? Are you actually getting into deeper phases of sleep where you can actually dream and recuperate and all those kinds of things? 99% of the time, the resounding answer is no.
Nope.
And that tends to be one of the greatest obstacles to healing and to feeling better. Okay, it trumps motivation, it trumps financial gain, it trumps everything. Okay, that sleeping piece is essential. And so that's one of the first things that we go to address. Now, you would think that sleep is easy, but as most of us know, it's not. Okay, and what we find out is a lot of times we end up playing catch up with our sleep patterns. Okay, and part of that is a society thing. Okay, we're also driven to succeed, to excel, to put in our 40+ hour work weeks and fill our time up with everything. And so by the time the weekend comes, oh my God, I can't enjoy life. I can't do anything. I'm so exhausted that I just got to crash. And then you try and crash, and why can't I go to sleep? Okay, so what we like to focus on is trying to get pieces of sleep hygiene in place. Everybody heard that terminology before? Yes? No? Okay. Sleep hygiene is just a fancy word for rituals and patterns. Okay? And a lot of times what we find is that our sleep rituals are all over the place. Okay, sometimes we're going to bed at 9 o'clock, sometimes we're going to bed at 2 o'clock, sometimes we're going to bed at 8:30 to catch up for that 2 o'clock night, and then everything is just crazy. Okay, so by being able to work on these rituals, okay, I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, or I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock 4 nights a week, instead of, trying to basically set a pattern in motion where we can train our bodies and train our minds into what's going to be most beneficial for us. Okay, using the bedroom as a bedroom rather than as your second office and your second kitchen and all the other kind of fun stuff that we like to take in there with us. Okay, and establishing that room as a special place, okay? This is a place where it's almost like a sanctuary. We're gonna sleep, we're gonna do a few other things, but we're not gonna finish dinner, we're not gonna finish the taxes, we're not gonna finish, you know, all the other kind of fun stuff. And that room is just a special place for that, okay? Doesn't coincide and that doesn't click with our fast-paced world because, of course, you know, we've got to be working up to the last minute and we got to finish this now or else the world is going to end. And so, you know, we end up bringing bad habits into this situation, okay? So what we help people establish, number one, is we're going to work on a hygiene pattern that's going to work for each individual, okay? Going to work for you, and we're going to be consistent with it. And that's the big thing, is consistency. And I wish there was a cookie cutter way that I could tell you, okay, do this, do this, do this, okay? But each one of you is different, and each one of you is going to come up with something different that works for you. Whether it's reading a few chapters before you go to bed, whether it's watching the Tonight Show and then saying, okay, monologue's over, I'm going to turn the TV off and lay down, whatever it is, okay? But establishing something that is consistent and that you guys can follow, and that's one of the most important steps at the beginning, okay? After that, you're laying down in bed and getting ready to go to sleep, and all of a sudden you hit that whirlwind phase. And that nice little transition period where you're just starting to relax and your brain says, we've got about 3 billion things to think about before we let you go to bed, and we're not going to let you relax until you have covered every single one of them and come up with every conceivable possibility for every single one of them. And next thing you know, you're rolling over and looking at the clock and you're like, oh shit, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm only going to get, the alarm's going to go off in 4 hours. I'm only going to get 4 hours of sleep. And then next thing you know, you look over again and you're like, oh man, okay, now I'm down to 3 hours and 50 minutes. That's not going to do me any good. And then you finally, drift off, and then the alarm clock goes off, and you're like, great, 2 hours of sleep. I'm going to be great today. So you got all that stuff just racing through your head. The one thing I like to throw out to people and to plant the seed is the nice little paradox, and this is applicable not only to sleep patterns, but to everything in your life. Okay, if you really boil it down and think about it. The more you try not to have something, the more you have it. Okay? And when you think about it as it pertains to sleep, the more you sit there and, oh my God, I've got to get to sleep. I've got to